Okay. All right. Well, we'll see if it ends up going. I mean, it would be all 3 of their cores most likely taken in the first 3 picks, which is kind of insane. But you never know. It's still some viability there. What do you think about the Coddle gain taken for Wings, and then you do a dual lane of Sand King Coddle?
Yeah, I kind of like that. I'm not sure if I really like Coddle versus Lifestealer, but it is good versus Slardar. It'll help slow down the game a bit if you want to take a later game approach. The Wings so far, they haven't really been a fan of late game lineups. They seem to be very much set on winning the mid game, which is ironically enough what VGJ is kind of taken over here with the Slaughter Lifestealer, who they reach a serious peak about 15 minutes and then continue that to like 25-30. Lina with her support or core is very dominant in that period of time as well. So it does look like we are just going to have a bloodbath, as Wings are not going to let go of that mid game. Apparently, they pick up their mid in a Queen of Pain, a nice mobile hero, but is still just shredded by Slardar Lifestealer because your blink animation is not faster than Crush. So you're still a pretty good opportunity for VGJ to get that initiation, blow up this hero. So and then Lina is also a potentially very strong hero against Queen of Pain as well.
I feel like this is playing chicken at this point almost. They're like, who's going to back down off of the big ultis and fighting abilities first? And I mean, there's no defensive heroes here at all. Is something like a Dazzle, it's already been banned out. I don't know. I guess there's not really too many other great defensive heroes that are around. Abaddon banned out in that first phase as well. Or do you just keep ramping up the damage? Like, do you think about going for something that allows them to hit an earlier timing like that Earth Spirit we were talking about? They're going to go Disruptor. It's all out aggression.
Yeah, I think I was trying to think of what controlling hero you wanted. Oh, wow. Oracle. Who picks that hero? Wow. Okay.
It's a good game for it. Like, you've got the ability to take away a lot of the damage that Lina's going to throw out at least.
Yeah, they've got a very single target focused mindset on VGJ right now between Lifestealer and Lina.
Mm-hmm.
They just want to be able to burst down a hero, get a numbers advantage. You don't like drawn out fights. You don't like facing Dazzle or Oracle because they prolong that one hero's life that you're trying to pop, and that numbers advantage that you were supposed to get, and then snowball from there doesn't actually work, and then you run out of rage timer, and then in a straight 5v5 without rage or without Laguna Blade, you look really lackluster in team fights. So in theory, I do like the Oracle. It's just whether or not this hero is actually fully viable or not. That is a different question, but it does, purges off amplified damage. It deals with the single target. It deals with the magic damage, as you pointed out. So if any game is an Oracle game, this has got to be it. He just needs a little bit of synergy with his carry.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure what that is right now, just because the Huskar got banned away.
Yeah, it feels to me as if that Huskar was something they were really banking on at this point. Not necessarily that it has to be that, but obviously Oracle, Huskar, very good combination. They're going to ban out the Tidehunter, still have a little bit of time left in reserve where they're trying to figure out what they want as the carry. Ursa maybe comes to mind. It seems unlikely that they've run Oracle Viper in the past, but I feel like they can't really do that because then it'd be like a safe lane Queen of Pain.
Yeah, I like your suggestion of Ursa. Slurk would have been an okay pickup, but he has Lina and Disruptor to deal with, so that gets thrown out the window, especially with that fourth pickup. Is Jug still in the pool?
Took him out first phase.
Yeah, they did. Damn, I don't have the hero list on me.
All right, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
When I was doing the T earlier,
yeah,
it was troll. That's
okay.
what I was thinking. I was telling Lyrical I was trying to get across my theories about what the draft was going to be for our EGNP game. Yeah, that's what it was.
And they went Magnus or no, that was a different one. Yeah,
I think they went Slark. Was that? Yeah, I think that was the Slark game.
Well, Troll Warlord, a very strong hero in his own right. We've seen it time and again. Monkey King will ramp up the Jingu stacks more quickly. Clearly the pinpoint of their strategy.
It is actually very dangerous. They went back for the Nyx Assassin. Cool.
Okay.
Again, it's like if the opportunity presents itself and you have a an intelligence mid, I think that it's always worth going back for that Nyx assassin. But to talk about the troll, the reason I wanted to see the troll last time we were watching the draft is the fact that I do think it matches up really well against Lifestealer. I think you have this inherent, man fight advantage, which Lifestealer is usually winning most of the time. He's very reliant on having that, that win over the enemy team, and being able to counteract that, I think is really nice. It's a really fast tower pusher as well, and I like that. I think it kind of takes a tempo game away from Lifestealer, who's so focused on kills, but a troll is going to be able to out-objective you. So I think there are several aspects that makes troll a good matchup against the Lifestealer.
Yeah.
But here's another interesting thing. If this Monkey King actually starts getting out of control, imagine this, right? He's not only just got that troll ultimate, he's also got the Oracle save.
Ooh.
Right? So you've got this Monkey King, you're like, oh, burst down the Monkey King. He gets saved. He gets the Jingo stacks because the attack speed. He starts life-stealing with that ultimate on him, and he gets double the heal off of his lifesteal, which is already absurd how much heal he's getting, right? So you got to heal up to full.
It's the plan.
This synergy, baby.
We've got it. We're in there. It's also got to be said as well that we've got sort of the ruling class strategy: Monkey King, Sand King, Troll Warlord, Queen of Pain. The Oracle kind of has a little circlet up there on his head.
And what does that make VGJ's team? Are they like the? I mean,
the servants.
Lifestealer's a prisoner, right?
Yep.
He's a mage stuck inside another prisoner. Disruptor kind of looks like with that badge over his eye, he kind of looks like a
pirate.
Yeah, some sort of pirate or not merchant, but like person for hire.
Oh, mercenary.
Yeah, mercenary. Thank you.
No problem. Slardar is a fish,
He's an outcast too, right?
Yeah.
I think so.
By the way, look at this.
He's not full Slark.
They're actually going to get a kill on Ice here. So they take down the tree, realize that he was there, and then manage to find the kill. Good use of a tango. Get some first blood.
Nicely done. Suck it, Monkey King pickers. Oh, that hero's so annoying to deal with.
It really is.
I cannot believe that VGJ were just like, yeah, we're just not going to pick up any real vision. Like they have Disruptor with Kinetic Field.
Right.
But that's kind of it. They don't have any other source of clear vision. I was so sure that they were going to pick up Coddle.
I mean, you don't need to get any vision if you have tangos. That's the answer, apparently.
Kill all the trees.
We also do have this Sentry Ward, which looks like was a little bit off the mark, not able to scout out where the Dire Ward was. So they'll have some nice vision here, Wings, at least at the start of the game. Whose draft are you kind of favoring? We kind of glossed over that when I was talking about the ruler strat, but is there a team that you're feeling like has it maybe a little bit more in the bag?
I don't know. I honestly don't like either lineup a whole lot.
Yeah.
And you've got Freeze's mid Lina. I'm still not set on core Lina. I like support Lina a lot more. But they do have the Slardar Lifestealer strategy, and that's super strong. I think the Nyx Assassin was a great pickup as well. Wings have Troll, but they also have Oracle. So it's like, for me, Troll's the high point and Oracle's the low point.
Right. I actually am a pretty big fan of the core Lina, as we might end up seeing another kill. Fenrir is going to die there to Faith Beyond. I think that the big thing is you just need to make sure that you hit that timing with your tempo, and even if you lose a bunch of Bloodstone charges early, just because of the respawn time and being able to get back in the fight, it can still end up working. I think that's the goal for them this game, certainly. You can tell, Queen of Pain also having a lot of trouble here. So far, 0 last hits to the 6 of Lina.
I think the two heroes that are going to determine this game, for me, it's pretty clear. It's like how well Freeze does on the Lina and how well Ice does on the Monkey King in our first 15 minutes. I think they will pretty much determine how the game's going to end up swaying. Because if Monkey King actually gets the snowball necessary to become a nice, strong support in team fights, then VGJ is going to be hard-pressed to actually take objectives, and Wings is going to be a lot more capable of, when they do win team fights or find pickoffs, translating that into real control in the game.
Yeah.
So
Well, I think, yeah, it's definitely feeling to me like, at least out of the gate, Vici off to a hot start. Their laning phase is looking quite strong. I think also the Nyx Assassin getting so much out of this lane is pretty impressive. They decided to block off this camp here as well, so there wasn't any chance for like a complete and total pull-through. And it looks like they might be able to pick up a kill here, though. ROTK is walking over to the side, does still have an Impale to throw out if he wants to. And it feels like they might not actually be able to kill him off. No Jingu.
Yeah, a little bit surprised that he chose to get Boundless Strike. Maybe he picked it, I'm not sure, I didn't see, but maybe he picked it up before he got the Haste Rune. But with that Haste Rune, obviously, it would have been really nice for him just to be able to run down ROTK.
Yeah. It's also worth noting these two teams recently did just play each other. VTJ dominated them pretty convincingly about 8 days ago in a best-of-3 series for the Manila Masters qualifiers. Granted, land very different from online qualifiers, but it's, to me at least, feeling like VTJ are the ones coming in as the favorites, and that was sort of reflected as well in the group stage performances that we've seen.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think VGJ, they have shown a lot of promise over the last month. I think ROTK actually is playing very well. Him and FY make a really nice aggro duel. Even if they're not doing it this game, I think they are like the key players on VGJ that you can point to. Any success usually comes off of FY and RTK's presence in the first 20. So RTK is trying to be as disruptive as he can, but ultimately it is a troll that's going to be free farming. That's one of the big advantages of troll as well, is that he's just a hero that will always be able to win his lane and shove out offlaners pretty easily.
Yeah, and maybe even going in for like an early Roche could be an option for him. They're trying to make a play down here onto ROTK. Troll is rotated in fully and able to get the slowdown with the Whirling Axis, a couple more right clicks, and this should be an ROTK death. So a good little pickup there. 4 minutes in, they're able to shut down that Nyx at least a little bit.
Let's see, double damage for Blink. He does have Ice making his way across. That's the thing, is like this support rotates around so quickly that you can't feel comfortable as if you're FY. And yeah, he already knows. He spotted Ice jumping into the trees, so.
Yeah, FY is doing a good job there as well. I like the Quelling Blade pickup because he just mirrors the movement of the Monkey King, basically, and tries to bring him down whenever he gets an opportunity to. Granted, he will miss out on the smoke gank that's moving in, and they're going to try and go for a full wraparound here onto Freeze. Really wanting to heavily prioritize shutting him down. And smoke breaks. A little bit off the mark. Won't quite find the gank.
Looks like they should be able to get FY, though. Looks like with the double slows.
Oh, yeah.
They used to do that nice part of running Sand King offlane or Slardar. Like, these kind of offlaners are always able, because they have an innate stun and some sort of way to catch people, they're able to rotate pre-level 6. And so I like the fact they grouped up and did that.
Oh, Freeze? They're going deep for this one. FY a little bit quicker, and they might have been able to catch Blink, and even so, they're going to do a good bit of damage. More right clicks coming through, but out of mana now, and they rotate in with Y as well. Going to bring 4 heroes for this one, and might even be able to bring him down. Oh, they broke the tree that the Monkey King was on. He's going to die because of it. FY picks it up. Faith Beyond also in trouble with the rotation in from Fenrir. They secure themselves too. Wings very aggressive in this mid lane. Doesn't pay off.
Yeah, this is why I don't think Wings look very good. It's like, you think about what they were doing there. Like, why were they chasing? They didn't have Burrow Strike coming up. They didn't have some magic way to be able to really take that Lina kill and make it their own. And even if they did, they were still going to be overextending themselves and presenting multiple kill opportunities to VGJ. That was just like a silly pursuit in that case. And I don't know. Wings just kind of like, their decision making just seems kind of off. This is not the same team that we saw at TI. People keep saying that, like, oh, people have adjusted to Wings' play style, or Wings was a one-patch team or something like that. I don't think that's it at all. I think we see a very clear difference in decision making from Wings that they had in TI and this patch. And I don't know what exactly to attribute it to. Maybe it's just they haven't really put in the work, the grind, to get everyone on the same page and really familiar with the meta. But it does seem like right now their drafting and their decision making is costing them a lot. a lot of these games.
Yeah, I think that it's really hard to replicate that level of hard work when you've won a thing like TI as well, because that was what made them so amazing for so long, was their ability to just sort of grind out the games, constantly watch replays, such an intense training schedule. And if you don't have that same level of hunger, it can be tough. But they still do have that inherent skill. It's just trying to put everything together. And maybe they put their stuff together a little bit better this tournament and things end up working out. At least for now, though, it definitely feels like in this game, Vici J, at a very good clip, are off to a good start. Is there a strong timing still where Wings are going to be hard to deal with as they're going to go now onto ROTK and possibly bring him down? Nice pick up there.
Their timing is going to be like, it's very much based around the opportunities that Queen of Pain and Monkey King create for them. They're very much focused on being able to get the pick and then translating into an objective off of the Troll Warlord. So like what they did at top lane, right, is like get that pick off, turn it into a push on the tower. They forced a glyph usage. The slow death timer of the Nyx Assassin allowed RTK to prevent a lot of damage being done, but they just got to kind of rinse and repeat that process a whole lot. Just create space for the troll and open opportunities for them to try and take some of these outer objectives, because VGJ, they're going to get super aggressive around, I would say, they probably hit a series peak around 18 minutes. And VGJ gotta get as much as they can before that.
This is really nice. The jump onto Freeze. They're just barely going to get the kill, but not before Monkey King goes down. Laguna Blade committed for that one. And I was going to talk about this. This is kind of an interesting answer. Is Monkey King going for max points in Boundless Strike as quick as possible, not going back for any in the Jingu Mastery? And I think it's because you want to find that long-range initiation. So scaling up to 2 seconds by level 4, that allowed them to get into range for the Burrow Strike kill.
Yeah, I actually prefer, for the most part, Boundless Strike being leveled up for the support Monkey Kings. I don't see too much value in Jingo Mastery just because it's not reliable. You know,
right.
as a support, you want to be reliable more than anything else. You want to have reliable stuns. You don't want to be banking on, but if I get this Jingo Mastery, I can do so much, right? Yeah. Especially since you're the support and you're not likely to be able to get away with greedy moves like that. Any team is just going to focus you down once you start getting some of those stacks in. So I do like what he's building right now. I also like what Wings is trying to do. They're trying to get aggressive before the Disruptor is level 6. However, that time has come to a close here, as Fenrir should be picking up his level 6 off of this camp. So that is going to be first step for VGJ, taking back some control and starting to be the aggressors. Obviously, the next big step is going to be that Blink Dagger on the Slardar coupled with the Armlet on the Lifestealer, as well as Freeze in his item choice. He's actually not going for a Yules or a Shadowblade first. He's going for the Bloodstone, which a lot of our mids are going for first. It allows you to be able to scale a lot better later on to the game. If you pick up an early Orchid as Storm, or you pick up the fast Yules or Shadowblade on Alina and you fail to connect with those ganks, you immediately just drop out of the game. You just do not scale if you don't have that Bloodstone and those charges it brings.
Well, we are seeing a setup right now onto Blink in the mid lane, and this should be a pretty easy kill with Laguna Blade. Impale off the mark. Not able to find it, so a little bit unfortunate there. Yeah, I think we've been seeing OP on IG go Bloodstone into Shadowblade every single time on Lina. I haven't seen Freeze play it all that often, but I wouldn't be surprised if he goes that same build. And, that coupled with the level 10 talent of being able to get the minus respawn time, you're just instantly back in the fight. So definitely quite a cool little combination that you can get from that.
Yeah, he's very rapidly approaching that level 10 too. That is such a weird thing to have to think about as an enemy team.
Right.
Like, is it worth ganking the Lina because, it doesn't, you kill it, but it doesn't do anything for you, like,
right.
objective-wise, because the heroes just back up instantly.
Oh,
the
what?
Strike timing!
Oh, baby.
Sick.
That was really cool. That was really, really cool. Fenrir is going to die, too. Man, I don't know if I've seen that before in a pro game actually used, but Shadow's going to die too.
Wow.
All right. Well, they get a good thing getting the Sand King out on one end, but Shadow ends up falling in the top lane.
Yeah, Shadow also seems to be very clearly the weakest link on Wings right now. He has had some off performances so far at DAC. him dying there is a pretty big loss because they just had such a big win in that bottom lane. And they're also, Troll is almost like a single core Troll, you know, like he's got to carry this game.
Yeah. Well, they're going now on to Freeze. The slow coupled again with the Boundless Strike. Makes up for it in a second off the back of some sick Ice. A little jump in on a Monkey King. It's a pretty good ability.
Yeah, I think there's a bit of miscommunication there. Like, if Freeze is going to be that far into the lane, he needs to have his supports a little bit closer. But I think FY was just trying to do efficiency things and maybe looked for like the 12-minute bounty rune and stuff like that. They are trying to catch Blink right now, but I think he's just out of range of Glimpse. And they just lost. That's ward. That's their ward, but
he's just barely within vision. But yeah, or within glimpse range for a second there. But they didn't have vision again, and ROTK not deciding to go too much further for the chase. He wants to set things up here, and it is a great possibility to do it with all the heroes that they've got. It's just a little bit tough, and he's going to keep scouting, won't run into anybody. And we're not really seeing like the pressure onto these towers either. If you look down bottom, Faith Beyond is actually able to pressure this bottom tier 1 out in just a second, and then he can head back into the jungle, finish off his Blink Dagger, and now you got a great timing for Wings.
Looks like FY is going to die in the top lane. That's a pretty decent pickup, seeing as he is the primary vehicle for the Lifestealer. I'd like to see VGJ actually make a Nyx Assassin Vendetta play with the Lifestealer and back that up with, say, a Disruptor or something. I want to see them try and go for some sort of smoke gank and gank the Troll again. I really would like to keep this Troll down as much as possible, make an aggressive move into his jungle, see if you can catch him there, because it doesn't matter too much if the Queen of Pain or the Monkey King get these pickoffs, as long as you reliably can say the Troll will not be a factor when Lifestealer and Slardar hit their big peak.
Well, and here we go, bottom lane. They're already on top of this Lifestealer, bringing him very low, and he is going to jump down, and well, they actually take command and are trying to run it down. It looks like they're not going to commit too much further though, so Lifestealer gets away barely. That was a lot committed for that kill.
This is why we refer to it as dead lane heroes, right? Lifestealer is a dead lane hero, kind of similar to Slark or Juggernaut. It's one of those heroes that's super hard to gank, and even if you play it correctly, it may still not be enough, and you will just wasted so much ammo. Oh,
and just a quick pick-off here onto Y. He was trying to get within range of the Shrine, but didn't end up happening. Now the counterplay going back the other direction. Monkey King starting to drop low. They sort out the ulti as well from the Quap, so managing to take down 2 for the price of their Oracle. Not bad.
Yeah, heavy commitment on an Oracle of all heroes. Like, later on into the game, a commitment for an Oracle is fine, but in that situation, just, like, it wasn't worth the risk of what you were doing, and Wings do position themselves nicely to be able to punish that, picking up that double, and probably getting a third here, as Fenrir does not have a TP, and he's just going to get spotted out by Ice. They're going to dive the tower and take this objective. Oh my God.
Really?
Did he actually just juke this out at the perfect timing? Wow.
Yeah, nighttime vision. There you go. And I guess I'll just be in the trees too. Ice still chasing and won't eventually end up getting caught, it looks like, as he's just bouncing back to the tree.
Man,
so
he had to time that so well. Like, if he goes back earlier, he's caught by Sand King sitting behind the tower. And then if he waits a little bit, then he's spotted by Sand King inside the jungle, or the Monkey King.
Right.
He just somehow magically timed that perfectly.
Well, in the meantime, you can see that Vici, they're trying to push out the top lane again, and Wings don't really have a great answer. I guess that Blink here can keep the pressure on along bottom, and going for that Orchid first, you don't necessarily want to fight until you hit that item, and then you've got this like incredibly strong power spike where you can blow up aggressive at the start of an engagement. But until then, probably just going to keep doing the split pushing thing whenever possible.
Yeah, FY, just give him a bit more time. I would say aggressive should even... Like, he shouldn't even be in lane right now. I think he should be jungling and letting FY pick up these couple of last hits. Because this timing is so important. Like, a minute or two earlier or a minute or two later is a big difference.
Oh, and here we go. They're on top of the Lina, so she is going to end up falling here. Faith Beyond picks up the kill. And that's a big one to get. Meanwhile, they're coming in with ROTK, a Lifestealer inside of him. Could just start off with the Impale, but it'd be a very tough kill indeed. And now Ice up in the trees. They're thinking about going further. They glimpse him back in. They jump out now onto Y. The Impale comes through. They find that kill and maybe going to be able to get Ice as well, as he is getting chased down. Kinetic Field is there, and another Thunder Strike. He doesn't have the mana for it, but still will be able to find... Oh, denied. Nicely done.
Well played. All right, VGJ, they've got the Blink Dagger now on Slardar. It's pretty much go time. They've let Wings do a lot in the first 15 minutes of the game. Wings do have a slight experience and gold advantage, but it isn't massive. But this is really the time for VGJ to take the game back into their hands. They're even going for more of a mid-game focus build on aggressive, not going for a Desolator or anything like that, instead going Armlet into S and Y. So this really should be, but that's weird. Aggressive isn't showing on map, technically. He's farming jungle, but they smoke without him anyway. Like, this kind of smoke it makes sense if Aggressive is showing in lane and making it so Wings aren't fearing a gank like this. But looks like it's still going to work.
Weird. Very
Maybe.
Oh, the ulti! He's still going to take a lot of damage from this, but might be enough heals coming through to keep him alive. It looks like Blink is going to survive that one, and now they've turned here onto the Disruptor and should be able to bring him down as low. You can definitely feel the differences in the meta, though. Like, these games feel very different from a lot of the ones when it's been either a Chinese team versus a Western team or two Western teams facing each other. It's very clear how different the meta is.
Oh, nice double stun.
Oh my god, they just evaporate. Yeah, Freeze is gone as well. Thankfully, he hasn't picked up his Bloodstone, but he's been dying a good bit.
I mean, that's props to Ice for moving pretty fast and creating extra opportunities. But I also think like those two heroes should not be there at mid. And if they are there at mid, they need to be sitting farther back and waiting for the rotation to come in. Fenrir is done.
Epicenter, they're going in for it, going to be able to bring him down. And in the meantime, they're trying to go on to Y. Doesn't look like they're going to quite be able to find that kill, but they will be able to take down Ice nonetheless.
The Orchid's here for the Queen of Pain. This... We'll see. This Orchid first for the Queen of Pain, very hit or miss item. It's like going forward on the Storm Spirit. If you don't actually pick up the kills that you need to in this early game, then you are just not going to scale. And again, it comes back to the problem of like, okay, you've got a single core Troll. Yes, Troll is good versus Lifestealer, but is he that good versus Lifestealer? I'm not fully convinced in that regard. So he is going to be trying to pick up a BKB next instead of finishing up that S and Y. It is probably one of the better points about these S and Y builds that the Chinese like so much, is that they go for their early Yasha on so many of these other heroes. And if they're ahead, they can go for the S and Y. And if they're behind or kind of even in the game, they can just finish up a BKB earlier instead.
All right, as we get another kill there on Defender. It looks like they're still stalking down here the Ice Monkey King. Don't know if ROTK realizes where he's at, though.
It does seem like he knows. Well, he definitely knows now.
Yeah.
They get the LSA in the right area here.
Oh, they got him. All right, there you go. Quick little pickup, and Ice goes down. In the meantime, it's going to be Wings taking the Tier 1 tower mid, so it's going to at least open up the map a little bit more for them since they had lost their Tier 1 mid a while ago.
Yeah, they're gonna be happy with that exchange. I'd much rather give up a support in exchange for getting the mid tier 1. But the Slardar combination.
Oh, there they are, right on top of Shadow. He needs to get out of here. The Oracle is going to save his life for the moment. Now they turn to fight. Want to bring down aggressive. Burrow Strike comes through. They have the Orchid as well, trying to take him down. And it looks like they are going to be able to run him out of here. Rage is up as well in a second, but it doesn't matter. They take him nonetheless.
Trading. I mean, not even trading. Sorry, the Troll obviously easily lived. That's the power of the Troll. It's like he's got really high armor, and then the moment he's done being stunned, he just pops his Whirling Axes, and a lot of that damage just goes away.
Oh, Burrow Strike off the mark. They haven't been able to catch him, but in the meantime, there's a nice stun onto 2. Ice going for the ulti. Is going to end up being able to control and bring down Nyx at the very least. Laguna Blade comes out, almost killing off Faith beyond Burrow Strike. Onto 2. They take down the Fenrir as well, so 3 heroes already dead for VGJ. Maybe going to be able to get more with another Boundless Strike in a bit, as Ice still looking but not finding FY.
Whenever you're picking up these mid Lenas, I feel like a lot of these Chinese teams are not being disciplined enough, I think, in their positioning around the map. Like, for example, NP, we watched, beautifully disciplined Dota by them where they never got caught out defending a tower with only 2 heroes. Like VGJ did earlier in mid.
Oh, that was a little bit awkward. They spotted him, but then he got away. The Boundless Strike missed.
You just can't afford some of these bad team fights that VGJ's letting happen against Wings, and Wings are very rapidly taking control of this game. Like the next step is just like they're just on the cusp of being able to, like, I think one more pick off or one more bad team fight, they'll take Roshan pretty easily, and then once they have that Aegis, that'll translate into more objectives.
Yeah, and I mean, you do have, again, the Midases that are there for Vici J. You've got one on Nyx Assassin, you've got one on Slardar, but it's like, are they going to be able to stop the eventual push that's going to come as well, which does feel unlikely. It's not as if Wings' draft necessarily falls off like crazy either, but Shadow, DD Rune, going in, taking down Roshan. They're on top of Ice Ice, actually. Let's stay alive for a second. But the Impale is going to go out. They've got Vision. Static Storm down. Freeze is inside of this one, but manages to back out of it as the Orchid came out. Shadow gets the ulti on top of him. Sonic Wave onto 2. They're very, very low, but it doesn't look like they're quite going to be able to finish him off as of yet. Trying to get into range, but there it is. Epicenter Burrow Strike comes through. Wings taking care of Vici J. Oh, baby, that was rough.
That was real well set up by Wings. Because, like, first thing what they did, they left Troll alone in that pit for the most part, right? Because he had that early BKB, they said, we're good. If they want to jump a Troll, that's completely fine. Like, he pops his BKB, he picks up the Aegis, boom. He's instantly won that Roshan pit fight almost no matter what. And then Blink has been so good about waiting for those opportunities to be able to get Sonic Wave. I don't think I've seen a Sonic Wave by him that hasn't hit at least 2 people.
Right.
Like he's had really good positioning in that regard, and then obviously they'll follow up by Faith Beyond, just kind of like seals the whole entire deal for them. So they get that Aegis, they win that team fight, they can now use this Aegis as sort of a weapon to bully down the rest of these towers from VGJ. Like, VGJ cannot afford to lose another team fight like that. If they contest, say, this top lane push, and they lose that fight, I think the game's pretty much over, because Troll and Queen of Pain are just going to get too far out of control. And you won't have the burst damage necessary from your Lifestealer Slardar to bring these heroes down, even without the Oracle sitting behind them.
Yeah, I mean, you can see that there's sort of elements of this that are maybe a little bit off meta and different, with the Shadowblade picked up for the Queen of Pain, very unique style of build, but they're still able to take the objectives because you've got those core items that you need on Shadow. He's got that BKB, as you mentioned. Aegis is here as well, and you can just find the pickoffs consistently with the Quap. We do have a Smoke or Invis Rune Slardar right now, so if somebody steps too far outside of bounds, he might end up getting punished for it.
It's better for them to try and force rotations with a setup like this, with this Invis, than try and rotate into Wings at the top lane. Unfortunately, they don't get that courier, so nothing really comes to that.
Yeah. I mean, Freeze is going to push down this tower, so that's something at least. You got that extra cast range to hit it without putting yourself in too much danger, but now they're on top of Erlina, in trouble. There's going to be the Orchid out, does still have the Shadow Blade, and no reveal as of yet. Going for the TP away, is going to die. Blink picks that one up too. From bad to worse, the Bloodstone, newly minted, is down to 8 charges now.
Yeah, and the early gem pickup by Ice Ice, given over to Faith Beyond, has its first successful scouting there as well, being able to make it so Lina could not escape. You could see how reliant Freeze was on that. Like, he was positioned very far forward, thinking, if I just kill this tier 2, I can Shadow Blade away. They won't have the detection yet to be able to deal with my Shadow Blade, but an early gem pickoff pays off big for Wings. And the best part is, like, they don't feel rushed at all. Like, they've got 2 minutes left on the Aegis. They can use it to take a tier 2 if they want to, but there's no hurry just because everyone is getting the farm they need. Ice Ice, he's scaling pretty well as a support. The Sand King's about to reach a series peak of his, where you have Blink Dagger and Force Staff double mobility combined with the upgrade in Burrow Strike. Once you have that Aghanim Scepter, that's like one of the biggest peaks that a Sand King gets, while his magic damage is still very beneficial. And then Queen of Pain is actually going to be tanking up a little bit once he has this Silver Edge.
This is not going to work. You got Oracle here immediately going to be able to turn this back around. And sure, they dropped the Static Storm, but I don't know if they have enough damage. RTK still in the area. They're going to turn now, trying to get the Impale off. Still alive, though, and Shadow is all over him as well. Freeze is already dead. He's back alive before I could finish my sentence, but it's not going to matter. Excuse me. Yeah, he ended up going down. Now back up to the top lane. It's all gone wrong. It's rough.
Yeah, all Aggressive can do at this point is split push. Watch his tier 2 die in mid. What was that pickup? Oh, the Silver Edge. Never mind.
No.
I thought that was an Aghanim Scepter pickup by somebody, but...
Man, this has just been a beatdown. It's been really difficult to watch at some points. Vici J have not found the answer to Wings, and Blink just finding these pickoffs over and over around the map. It's against Aggressive. Like, he has to be able to get out there.
I don't know what you do anymore as VGJ, because they shouldn't be losing fights at 20 minutes with Slardar Lifestealer, but Wings just seem to do well enough in the laning phase, and now they're just playing against this Lifestealer Slardar combination really well.
Yeah.
Y is always positioned by the core that he thinks is most likely going to be jumped. It really helps that Troll is farmed enough that he doesn't have to worry too much about the Troll. Troll is almost always going to be able to survive through that initial crush burst damage that they try and throw in. Then he pops Manta and BKB, and he's almost unkillable if he has more than like 300 health. So he doesn't really have to worry about him. So he's just kind of protecting the Queen of Pain for the most part.
Oh, well, they have found themselves another Nyx Assassin kill. Fortunately, ROTK not able to get out, and Freeze also going to die here. They end up just suiciding. A little bit longer to get back to life this time, as the Bloodstone charges are now down to 3 at 28 minutes in. This is a rough one. I'm struggling to figure out where you look for the positivity here for VGJ.
Positivity, Lyrical, is that there is going to be a game 2 after this.
Okay.
That's the positivity, man. That's the positivity. Etherland's now on the Oracle, so you can sit even farther behind these heroes and just not get caught.
Well, yeah, they dropped the Static Storm there onto the TPing in Monkey King, but he cancels his TP and just runs down into the lane. It does mean if Fenrir gets away, he's going to be able to get back home. He can TP himself out of here.
That is the silver lining. Yep. Die another day.
I mean, that's the problem, too, with the Bloodstone build, is that you get back into lane and you're able to, get back into the fight very quickly. But if you start dying, you can die and die and die more quickly, too. The feed train becomes a little bit too real, as they're not going to be able to quite catch the Monkey King, and now they're on to Freeze again. They're going to be able to jump forward. Boundless Strike in a second. Actually out of mana for it, but it doesn't matter. Shadow is all over him. 9-32, 9-33 now. And Wings are not looking to slow down anytime soon.
I don't think Shadowblade was his item.
Okay.
Maybe it was like BKB or Yules or something. It was probably Yules because the Orchid, but I don't know. So something just I don't feel like there was going to be, because they already have the Slardar Lifestealer. I think you're putting like too many eggs in one basket, I guess. Because like the Slardar Lifestealer already inhibits the enemy team from splitting apart because they're scared of that combination, right? So they have to stay grouped up, in which case the Shadowblade doesn't do anything for you in team fights.
Well, that was a nice little combination. Slardar being a bit of a combo breaker. Aggressive, still taking some damage from this, but we'll be able to walk out of it for the moment, and it does look like that Oracle ulti, or rather, Fate's Edict, not going to end up taking any damage from that ulti from Lina, and is still going to pop in the end, but that was a lot committed in for the Queen of Pain. Maybe they can keep this momentum going, though. They're on top of the Troll Warlord, able to bring him down. Okay, that's 2 cores taken out of the pool already. Ice also in trouble. They're going to be able to crush and kill him off. So the team fight's starting to pull back together here for VGJ. They made something work.
I think that was hard to tell. I mean, I couldn't tell as an observer whether or not the Queen of Pain was going to be able to survive through that, in part because I wasn't sure if the Laguna Blade hit the hero or not. Before the Magic immunity came in, but I once that Queen of Pain died, it was just like, oh, okay, now we're in trouble. and they just get run over. Fortunately, they did keep their gem in the Sand King's pocket. That's really important because giving away the gem would have been a huge loss. VGJ would have been able to take away any aggressive wards that come up from Wings, and that is the kind of the next step. The team fight was a misstep, yes, but they should still be in control of this game. They get the aggressive wards down. They play around the next Roshan timing. They pick up that Aegis, and they should be able to start sieging high ground in the next go of things.
Well, Freeze looking to try and find a kill for himself, but this does not seem super likely. And there's going to be the turnaround. Quick little epicenter in. Yeah, their Bloodstone charges were at 5 for a moment, but now back down to 3.
3? Oh, how does that happen so quickly?
Yeah, it's been a struggle. In the meantime, ROTK getting gone on by Troll. Don't think that they're going to be able to run him down yet. Although, again, with the Sand King having so much mobility now, it's never really a safe point to be an invis hero on the map. Like, Ags, Force Staff, Blink, it's all there.
See, they really need this Ags before the next team fight on the Lina. It's such a huge upgrade against the Troll because they can't burst the Troll, right? They just don't have the damage to finish him off before he activates BKB. So if they could have that pure damage to go through the BKB after, they do their crush and they try and lay into him, but they can't quite, because they have to make sure he does not get off BKB Satanic and gets off to full HP. And I'm also not sure if they have, maybe they do have enough kiting. I don't know. We'll have to see, but they have to get to the back line, blow up the Oracle, and then kite away. Lifestealer's just not really a good kiting hero,
Yeah.
He's a hero that, like, boom, I take a hero out, I have a numbers advantage, and I just keep fighting into you during those last couple of seconds of rage. But Troll, if they blow up the Oracle, Troll's going to be kind of okay with that, and he'll just turn and fight the Lifestealer, as Lifestealer will be very far forward in his positioning naturally. So I'm kind of concerned about how the next team fight will go. Even worse with the Aegis now going into the hands of Shadow.
I think it's just what they're doing right now. You got to play like the split push style and look for pickoffs, because otherwise, if you take a 5-on-5 engagement, you're going to lose. It's the game did not go as they wanted it to, and maybe this is in general something that we could glean for the rest of the tournament. Oracle, maybe not such a terrible hero if you've got it with a carry that can man fight the Lifestealer.
Yeah, I think that it's a very specific circumstance that this Oracle becomes a very value pickup. First of all, it's started Lifestealer, so that feels okay. Second of all, it's against a lot of single target damage. Pretty much every single hero from VGJ is single target focused. And I've actually heard this a couple times, is that from different pros, is that we've learned, like, we don't want one-dimensional lineups anymore. Like, we don't want too many heroes that overlap in their roles in the game, right? You don't want too many initiators. You don't want too much sustain. You actually want like a lineup that looks pretty well-rounded, right? You want the Mario of drafts, right?
Okay.
Just kind of like good at everything, but not great in just one direction. And that is the problem with VGJ, is they focus so much on single target damage with the Lifestealer and then picking up a Lina and Nyx that it does feel like this Oracle has mega value when most of these games in this meta, he would not be nearly as good.
Well, and showing the power of it right now, you can just sit Shadow up on the high ground. Oh, man, a couple missed stuns turns into one big hit one by Wings, and they're looking to take down a bit more. They're able to find 1 and 2. ROTK falls, as does FY. And now where's your initiation going to come from? Like, Light Strike already? That ain't going to work. Yeah, they're going to buy back on the Nyx. They have to. They have to get in here, but they're already going to end up losing Freeze. And, well, his respawn time not as low as it was before. It's still 30 seconds with none of him, and they're going to be taking down this tower.
Yeah, VGJ just got to take a step backwards. They can't afford to let any more heroes get picked off, or this could be the end of the game.
Oh, my God. VGJ, they're all going to die. They're inside a creep right now, aggressive, but he knows what's coming as well. Trying to run him down, and Sonic Wave just yell in his ear one time as the taunts start coming out from Ice. Bananas all over the ground, and GG gets called.
That's it. You had to give up that lane of Rax and keep your cores alive there and just wait for Slordar and Lina to come back. To be fair, though, I still think they would have lost that game almost no matter what. Wings, there are definitely some weak points here and there, but in large part, I think VGJ's draft was a bit lackluster. I also think that they did not play. They didn't respect Wings enough. Like that what happened in mid lane where the Lina and Slardar, I think it was. Like they were a bit too far forward. They needed to sit farther back and wait for the rotations if they wanted to defend mid tower. Like that was a really big part of that game. It set the tempo very clearly in the favor of Wings early on and allowed them to be able to take control of the game. And you couldn't let them do that with the troll. That's your worst fear. Because Lifestealer, Slardar, like they are the tempo controllers. They should not lose control of the game this early, especially since they are not the clear objective takers.